What's going on, guys? Welcome to today's video, and today, as you can tell, we are back in the Mastercraft X-2, and we are going to be getting this engine ready to pull out of the engine bay. I'm going to be taking off everything I possibly can and leaving hopefully just one bell housing bolt so I can go over to my buddy's house, we can use his tractor and lift this thing out of the hole. But before that happens, I need to have everything unbolted and ready to swing this motor out of the way. Now, it's not just going to be a one day or one night deal for myself, but the video at least will just be a one video, a little bit of time lapse of me ripping and tearing on this thing, and then hopefully out at the buddy's house and getting this thing out of the hole with a tractor, because we're in Kansas, so we've got to use a tractor, you know, because that's what you do in Kansas. It's just farming, right? So yeah, we'll be using a tractor, getting the motor out, and then going from there. So I'll show you how the engine bay looks now. I've got some of the mess out of the way, and it is basically just an engine sitting there. So guys, like I said, I've got the engine cover pulled off. I've got the side covers pulled off, and then the big metal support ribs. So it is basically just a engine sitting in a big box right now. So I am left with getting everything unhooked and getting it out of the hole. Now, I am hoping to leave the transmission in the boat and just pull the engine. So that's the game plan as of now. We'll see how it plays out, but we've got to get all this mess off the engine before we can pull this thing out. So throw you guys up on the tripod and let's do this thing. All right, guys, we got all of the necessary hardware unbolted. We are left with 2 bell housing bolts and 2 engine mount bolts. And we've got the thing back out of the garage because I am going to head over to a buddy's shop so we can use his tractor to chain this engine and pull it out of the engine bay. So I'm gonna head over there. I'm gonna throw you guys up on the tripod, and then we will be hopefully getting this thing out of the hole. So I'm gonna show you guys how it looks now with nothing on it, and then we will get to pulling this thing out of the hole. So guys, as you can hopefully see, we are left with pretty much just a bare long block, no exhaust manifolds, no intakes. I have most of the bell housing bolts off. We should be ready to unbolt our last motor mount bolt and our last 2 bell housing bolts and get this thing out of there. So let's do this. Well guys, as you saw, we successfully got the engine out of the boat, and I've gotten everything piled back into the garage at home. And as we can see, we have a big empty hole now where the engine was. I've got the transmission kind of held up just to support it a little bit more, and I'm going to be able to clean up the engine bay a little bit once I get time for that. So that will be good, being able to clean up some carpet and under the engine. Now over to the engine, I've got it up on the engine cherry picker, and I don't have long enough bolts to get it bolted to the engine stand tonight, but at least I've got the thing up and am able to drain the rest of the milkshake out of the oil pan that I couldn't really drain very well in the boat. So I've got it up on the stand, and we are ready to start tearing this thing down. Like I said, once we get it bolted onto the engine stand over there, we'll be able to take the cylinder heads off, take the timing apart, take the oil pan off, and tear this thing down and figure out what our best course of action will be. So guys, next time you see this thing, we'll be tearing into the engine and figuring out what we need to do. We're gonna send the cylinder heads out to make sure they aren't cracked, because if they are cracked, that means we need to be looking for cylinder heads or a long block also. So we need to get those heads confirmed whether they are good or not. So like I said, next time we'll be tearing into this thing and doing a little more digging. So guys, as always, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time.